Save 15% off your order through Safari site using my exclusive coupon code DINOSCREAM. Link is in the description of this video. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Safari Limited review. Today we're taking a look at the new Dino Dana Nanotyrannus. It's nice to see some of the Safari reveals from months ago is actually in stock on their site. So yeah, Nanotyrannus here. This sure was an interesting reveal. I think this got shown off at the very beginning of May. Now we're all dino nerds here. We all know Nanotyrannus is not a valid species. It's actually a juvenile T.rex. But thankfully the adult collecting community is very level-headed. And we all were very kind to Safari with this reveal. Just kidding, they lost their minds. I mean, you gotta understand, this is a Dino Dana toy. It's targeted towards kids. Safari's main audience is children. Yes, a lot of their products do appeal to adult collectors, but they're made for kids first. You can tell just by, the blunt claws and the dull teeth on these figures. They're not like sharp and gonna, stab you like PNSO figures. These are just meant for kids. So I really didn't understand the big outcry that this was called Nanotyrannus. Spoiler alert, in the Dino Dana movie, it is revealed at the end that it is a juvenile T-rex. So I just don't understand what the big deal is. Just call this a juvenile T-rex and just be happy with it. So anyways, getting back to the figure at hand, like I said, this is part of the Dino Dana line. So you do get a QR code that comes attached to the figure. And let's open it up right here. And here's the code right here. Now, there is a Dino Dana app for mobile devices that you can scan this into. Unfortunately, the app hasn't been updated yet. So even if you, there's no way to scan this in yet because it hasn't been updated with the newer Dinosaur. Hopefully, those get updated shortly because there's a few figures in the Dino Dana line. And maybe they'll update it, I guess, when the Stiggy mullet comes out. But, enough about the QR code. Let's throw this thing up on the turntable and take a closer look. All right, let's have a nice 360-degree view of the, I'll just call it a Juvenile Rex. I don't want anyone freaking out during this review. It's not a bad figure for $12.99. Safari figures, you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get, a decently researched figure with a decent paint job. I think the paint job is kind of bland on here. It's just brown with the white stripes, but it is natural looking. It's not completely over the top. I think all around the figure is nicely sculpted. It has a nice head sculpt on it. Some of the paint apps on mine are just really not that crisp. These are hand-painted figures, so every single one is going to look different. That's why I wish, there was more stores named that actually sold Safari figures. Sometimes, back in the day, it was nice to go and, pick out the figures with the better paint apps. Just the eyes on mine did not come out that great. Kind of give me that Shin Godzilla vibe, but it's really not, a big deal. It's a $12.99 figure. It's not like a $40 PNSO figure. I'd absolutely lose my mind if I received a figure for that price that was painted like this. But, it's a decent juvenile T-Rex. There's really not a lot of juvenile Rex figures to pick from on the market, so it's nice to have a very budget-friendly alternative versus the, PNSO's version, which I think is, close to $40. And now for some measurements. This figure is 8 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, or just over 20 centimeters, and just over 2.5 inches tall, or 6.3 centimeters to the top of the head. So I'm going to use the Jane specimen for the scale of this figure. So the Jane specimen was 21.5 feet long, or about 6.5 meters. So put this figure nicely in the 132 scale range. And let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure. Starting with the head. Up close, this figure does have a lot of nice scale detail on it, especially a head. A lot of nicely sculpted small scales all over the upper and lower jaws. You do have some large scales for the top of the snout. And the front of the snout, those are similar to the large scales on alligator and crocodile snouts. They have pressure points on them. Some paleontologists think T-Rex communicated by rubbing their snouts together, so that is a nice little touch. Nostril is painted in with a black, little bit of black, so you can make it out. My eye is painted yellow with a black pupil, but like I said, the eyes on mine are just really not painted well. It's a hand painted figure, like I said. There's gonna be variation between every single figure, but yeah, really not the best looking eyes on this thing. The teeth are nicely painted inside the mouth. You do have some dark maroon for the tongue and the roof of the mouth. My light's just really not picking that up. And we actually do have the gum tissue on the side of the mouth painted in. I know some of the prehistoric world figures, especially when Doug Watson sculpts, don't have that painted in. It always makes the figures look so off, so it's nice to see it painted in on this figure. You can see the ear canal sculpted in right here, and here's a view at the top of the skull, and let's look at it from the front. You do get that binocular vision. Oof, that face, only a mother can love that face. Going down to the neck, you do have some speckling of white along the back of the neck and more fine scale detail. On the other side, you do have a little bit of a light coat of paint for the underside, some nice scale detail. The forearms are a little large because this is a juvenile T-Rex. You're going to get those, juvenile-like proportions. You do have some large scales mixed in along the body. You got all that nice white striping that goes all the way down to the tip of the tail. No shrink wrapping at all on this figure, so it's a very well fleshed out juvenile Tyrannosaur. The hind legs are nicely sculpted, got some nice definition on the calf muscles. Toe claws are painted in black. Same thing with the hand claws. I don't think we're going to go look at those. Those are also painted in black. So yeah, all in all, a nicely sculpted figure. We always have to do the dinosaur butthole check. I guess the Dino Dana figures are just not worthy of a cloaca slit. So yeah, all in all, I think it's a nice juvenile T-Rex figure. Is it the figure I wanted from Safari at the time? No. I really don't need a juvenile T-Rex figure in my collection. I already got the PNSO one, but it's a nice addition. It's gonna look nice next to some of your 135 scale T-Rex figures, and this figure definitely does not deserve all the hate it got. Moving on with comparisons, here it is with Collecte's 140 scale human. And let's get some of the other juvenile T-Rex figures from other companies. First up, here it is with PNSO's Logan. I don't know, why aren't you standing? My studio has like a big dip in the middle of it just from being used over the years, so some of the figures just don't like standing over there. Logan is a really nice figure. The reason I don't like it is it's so overpriced. It's one of the like a big FU from PNSO for making this figure cost almost $40. But yeah, in all honesty, I'll take Safari's $13 offering over the PNSO one, just because the price of that figure just made me so irrationally mad. And let's get one more juvenile T-Rex figure over here. Here is Collecte's, which is feathered. It would be nice if this one was feathered to go along with Safari's awesome looking feathered T-Rex. We kind of got away from T-Rex being completely feathered over the last few years, but this is based off Dino Dana, and as far as I know, I don't think the Nanotyrannus was feathered in the movie, but maybe next year we're going to get a fully scaled T-Rex figure update. Who knows? I am just guessing. And next up, here it is with most of Safari's 2022 reveals. We have the Pachycephalosaurus, the Cryolophosaurus, Albertosaurus, Zool, and the Nanotyrannus. So yeah, pretty nice lineup from Safari. The only figure missing from this picture is the Stygimoloch. That one should be available probably, I'm guessing, when the Cryolophosaurus actually comes into stock, hopefully in the next couple of months. I'm really impressed with Safari's 2022 lineup. We got a couple new species. We got some updates to older Carnegie figures. And yeah, just all around a really nice lineup. I guess having the Dino Dana line allows for more dinosaurs to get produced, because last year I think we only got 3 figures, and not to ever top 2017. I think it was 17 new figures we got. That was absolutely ridiculous. Hopefully next year Safari has some non-dinosaur figures. I know there's a lot of people, I'm not one of them, I just like collecting dinosaurs, but I know a lot of people are hoping for more non-dinosaur figures like marine reptiles and extinct mammals. Maybe that will come true next year. And let's do some Hell Creek figures. These are all from Safari. Here is their Edmontosaurus, and next up here is their Triceratops and their Ankylosaurus. Let's turn around this way. It's a much better shot. And lastly, here is their Pachycephalosaurus. I do have the Draco Rex. I just didn't feel like digging it out. When I get my hands on the Stygi, obviously I'll be taking the Draco Rex to compare with the Pachy. And lastly, let's compare it to some T-Rex figures. Here it is with Safari's Dino Dana repaint of their stellar feathered T-Rex. I always say it, their feathered T-Rex is one of the best dinosaur product Safari has ever put out. It's just a beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted figure. But yeah, the Dino Dana one definitely looks out of place since this one is not feathered. Hopefully next year we get it updated with a featherless T-Rex figure from Safari. And next up, here it is with PNSO's Wilson, and obviously they really don't work together because this one has lips and PNSO absolutely despises lips. And lastly, here it is with the new gold standard for T-Rex figures, Rebor's Kiss. And I have to say, I think the Safari one works really well with this figure, just like the dark natural colors of both these figures. I just think they go really well with each other. And yeah, I think this is, if you want a juvenile Rex displayed with a T-Rex figure, I think the Safari and the Reborn ones are the way to go. So final thoughts on Safari's Nanotyrannus. This figure definitely did not deserve all the hate it got. I actually felt bad for Andy when he had to reveal this one. Even when we were communicating with the Safari reps about these reveals, Safari knew that this figure was going to be kind of divisive among the collecting community, and boy, were they right. But yeah, this is definitely a good figure. For $13, it's a nicely sculpted juvenile T-Rex. It's around 132 scale, so if you have a 135 scale collection going, it's going to fit nicely into it, and I just think it's a good figure. I like it a lot better than PNSO's Logan. That figure cost like 2.5 times the price of this one. So yeah, I do recommend this figure. Definitely not deserving of all the hate it got. So yeah, if you want to save 15% off your Safari order, use my exclusive coupon code DinoScream. The link to purchase this figure is down below in the description. So that will do it for the review. I got really not too much new stuff coming in. I got the new PNSO Spinosaur thing. That's a whole nother disaster. We'll deal with that when that figure comes in. And I do have a wooden dinosaur skeleton that I have to do a review on, sent to me by the wonderful people at I got it right here, Wonder Artistic Models. So I'll be doing a review on that relatively soon. So stay tuned for all that. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.